you get to a certain point in life as a man where you no longer care about becoming more social. I mean, if anything, you become more selective with who you spend time around and how often you see them, right? I mean, and you're going to get people who will look at you and they how you live and just assume that something is off, right? They'll tell you that, you know what, you look withdrawn, man. They'll say annoying shit like, you need to get back out there. I myself have always hated hearing that. I think what they fail to understand is that, dude, you didn't arrive there by accident. You got here by paying attention to what's happening around you. And as you get older and you start accumulating enough experiences, both good and bad, your response to the world, it changes. How you deal with people, how you see people, how you view this, how you view that, right? You no longer react the way you once did, and you also don't pursue the things the way you used to. You don't have that same sense of urgency or interest, right? After seeing enough, recognizing enough patterns repeating over and over again in life, you're able to run most situations through your mind before they even happen, right? So you just have this level of awareness that what it does is it removes that sense of novelty that you had when you were younger that used to drive you and propel you towards certain things. And so you understand how things tend to play out because you've seen a lot of things play out. So, but because of that, the excitement that other people expect you to feel, it's no longer there, right? And so, and it's not necessarily from a lack of opportunity or anything like that. It comes from just understanding the cost of certain experiences and where they usually lead. A lot of things are predictable, and therefore it naturally makes you more selective with your time and your energy. And of course, pain. Oh, pain. The great teacher. It becomes a great teacher over time. And what it does is it forces adaptation. It forces you to grow and adapt and toughen up, right? So you become tougher, you develop a thicker skin, you get a little cynical, you stop accepting things at face value, you get skeptical, right? And those situations that once, were like a tractor beam, pulled you right in, sucked you right in, they no longer do that. They don't have the same effect on you. And also after experiencing enough loss, right? There's also a kind of numbness that sets in, right? Your nervous system, it adjusts, it changes, and your baseline changes. And it does that because it's biologically hardwired to do that. To you update it, updates your each experience updates your operating system because you need to keep moving forward, right? Your body it doesn't like pain. It wants to avoid you feeling overwhelmed every single time something goes sideways. It wants you to be prepared for that and not be jolted by it, so that you can function properly through your day to day, without being pulled up and down by every single outcome. Because that's not sustainable. So your software has to update, and that with time, you begin to take a closer look at all of these systems around you and question what you were told growing up. Because things just, when you look deeper at stuff, when you just pay attention, you start to notice that much of what you accepted earlier in life, just it doesn't hold up to scrutiny. It doesn't add up. And that realization, it completely alters how you process information, and how quickly you trust what you hear. Like I said, you become more skeptical. And instead of taking things at face value, you question them. You question everything, and you create all of these filters. Filters that a lot of people just don't have, because that's the world is wired to create all of these mindless drones, these NPCs. But then every now and then you get people like me and you that deviate from our programming. There's just a certain percentage of people that are incapable of maintaining their conditioning, and they grow a brain. And through all of this that's happening, you end up spending extended time alone, and that leads to all these other adjustments, right? And at first it feels unfamiliar and uncomfortable, but with time, then it becomes more neutral. And then after that, it eventually becomes I would say, a preferred state of being. Solitude becomes your preferred state of being, because here's the thing about solitude. It creates space to think without interruption, right? And that allows a man to understand who he is, to ask himself questions, to see what he's truly capable of, and what actually matters to him. His home, it becomes a kind of a Faraday cage, right? This barrier that keeps all this unwanted noise out and allows him to stay focused. You don't have all of that, all that pressure to perform, and the expectations to play this role, right? And what I'm talking about is just the surface. This is kind of me not really diving too deep, because I do talk about individuation quite a bit. I do dive deeper into that, and I do that in previous videos. You can watch any of my playlists and go down the rabbit hole of those videos of mine that I've created. But this video, it's just kind of, I'm not keeping it shallow without any substance. I'm just skimming the surface. So, but that environment, it gives you this level of peace that it can't be bought or manufactured. But yes, I highly encourage anyone and everyone to read Carl Jung and integrate their shadow. Speaking from someone who has lived quite a bit of life, yeah, I understand if you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s, that might sound immature, but allow me to. I'm only 40. I'll be 41 in July. But even so, I've had enough interactions with people throughout my life that I'm able to really evaluate the trade-offs more carefully, right? I consider the time and effort that's required to meet new people, and the unpredictability that comes with it. You know what I'm talking about, a lot of you. You know, the potential for disappointment, and also the potential to be completely and utterly annoyed, right? And having this regret of even engaging with other individuals when you could have, you compare that experience to what it would have been like if you had stayed home, right? You compare all that. It doesn't add up, man. There's not much to gain from that experience versus spending time alone. So yeah, the choice it's obvious, right? Time invested in yourself, it what it does is it produces more consistency and control over your environment, which leads you to prioritize yourself and things that are important to you over constantly seeking new connections, right? And unnecessary connections. I love connecting with people, but the right people and on my terms, right? And of course, onlookers, they oftentimes will suggest, you know what, you need to get out more, maybe join a group, attempt to be more social, right? Because they're not like you. They rely on those environments to fill this sense of fulfillment and purpose. You don't need that. You don't require that. You have a different operating system. You've already spent enough time in all of these different situations to understand what they offer. And because of that, you no longer feel the same pull toward them that these individuals do. And these people, they're annoying. You eventually you want them out of your life. You're sick of having to interact with them and justify your behavior. That's completely sane, it's completely justified, and you're just different. Right? You gravitate towards quieter, more controlled environments where you can focus. You don't have these distractions. You don't want to you want to spend hours researching these topics and reading about them and just thinking. Just thinking alone becomes more appealing than placing yourself in settings that are these settings with these individuals where it feels loud and forced, it's contrived, it's fake. And that preference, it reflects a better alignment between how you spend your time and what you actually value. And I know that a lot of you have those people in your lives that they mean well, but you just want to just grab them. What is that one line from that Jake Gyllenhaal movie? Where is that? Where he's it's the Nightcrawler, yeah, where he the Bill Paxton's character, he's trying to pitch him on working for him, and he's like, I just want to grab you by your ears and tell you I'm not fucking interested. That's how you feel a lot of the time. But yeah, so I guess in closing, if you found yourself pulling back and spending more time alone, and especially for you younger guys, you guys that are just kind of where it's not necessarily your preferred state yet. I know a lot of you it is. You're where I'm at, but I know a lot of you might feel uncomfortable right now, but you're kind of drawn to it or in that place depending on your circumstances. Whatever the case may be, right? But you're feeling less interested in constantly being surrounded by people. I just want you to know that doesn't automatically mean that there is a problem with you. Okay? So what it can mean is that you've seen enough to understand what you want and what you don't want. That's fine. And I implore you to dig deeper into that, right? Because once you reach that point, solitude it begins to feel comfortable. It doesn't feel isolating. It feels peaceful. And it's honestly, if you can't be alone with yourself, then what are you doing, right? Be comfortable being alone. Be comfortable being with yourself. And to me, it seems that the more intelligent you are, the more perspicacious you are, the more you feel that way, the more you see the world that way, the way that I've described it, you progress and you evolve, and your operating system updates to be aligned with what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, if you resonate with that, then yeah, just tell me about your experience in the comment section. I'd love to know. I do engage with people down there in the comment section and go back and forth with you guys. And yeah, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. That's it, man. See ya.